I'm the big dog. That's what you don't get.
Here's all the savage moments from Ronnie. His first victim would be the bouncer from the club. As Unique and Ronnie walks into the club so they can have a good time, Ronnie is stopped by the bouncer from the club. The bouncer disrespects Ronnie and tells him he doesn't belong to come inside the club due to Ronnie not dressing up to par for the club, and told him he need to catch up with the times due to him being in prison for 3 years. And to make things worse, the bouncer put his hand on Ronnie's chest, which is a violation. While sitting in the club, Ronnie looks like he does not want to be there. Unique sent some females his way to make the mood better, but instead, Ronnie told him to get off, cause his only concern was to get revenge on the bouncer that disrespected him earlier in the episode. And Ronnie was sitting down, staring at this man, finding ways to get revenge on him. And this is the first glimpse that we see of Ronnie being a savage and a psycho. After the bouncer is done with work for the night, Ronnie follows him to his car. The man doesn't recognize him, and Ronnie proceeds to knock him out, puts him on the ground to use the car door to slam his face in multiple times, taking out the bouncer. Then Ronnie grabs his wallet and proceeds to steal money from him as he's laid out on the ground. This is the first time we see Ronnie being a savage and proving if you disrespect him, he's going to take you out, or you're going to be dealt with. His next victim is Dean. After coming to Dean and telling him he has a little bit of money and that he needs work so he could get back to the business of drug dealing, Dean tells him he doesn't do business with anybody from Southside Jamaica anymore, and he doesn't want to do business with anybody last name Mathis. Ronnie tells him he needs work, and Dean told him he can't help him out with that, and he proceeds to grab up Dean and told him he's not the one to tell no to. Then Dean proceeds to go off on Ronnie, totally disrespected him, then told him, get the hell out. Dean calls Unique after this encounter and tells Unique that Ronnie was looking for work, which pisses off Unique because he told Ronnie he was gonna give him some work, just be patient. But Ronnie is now waiting for Unique to give him work because Ronnie is very impatient and he's not the type to wait for anybody. And he thinks Unique is not focused on business because Unique is too busy smashing rock. And with Dean going back to Unique and revealing that Ronnie was looking for work, Ronnie gets pissed off about this. And this is how Ronnie gets his revenge on Dean for running his mouth. Ronnie would sneak into Dean's home, grab the knife, and start stabbing him up for running his mouth to Unique. This proves that Ronnie is relentless and he doesn't give a damn. He's gonna get you anywhere, any place, anytime. His next victim would be his own baby brother, Unique. After Unique attempted to hook Ronnie up with some work at the Chinese spot, Ronnie gets pissed off because there's no business coming through the store and tells Unique, fuck you, after attempting to hook him up with that type of setup. Both of them go outside. They have a back and forth argument about the situation, and Ronnie tells Unique he knows he got other work coming in. But Unique tells him this is the only thing that he got going on right now. This is for him and his brother. But Ronnie is not buying it. So he proceeds to piss off Unique by going to his baby mama and telling her that he's out there smashing rock, which she gets pissed off at due to the history that Rock and Unique has in the streets. She confronts Unique with this information and confirms that Ronnie told her about this, which pisses him off, and he goes to find his brother so they can have a conversation about this. He finds his brother and proceeds to tell him what he just did by mentioning that he's smashing rock with some whole shit, while Ronnie tells him he's soft and that he's losing everything that he gave to him. He calls Unique a clown, and this is when the fight begins. Unique gets the best of his brother, puts him on the ground, and he told him he's the big dog, and he better not forget it. After this, Unique would walk away thinking he won the fight. This is when Ronnie would get up, follow Unique, get the pole, and viciously beat him with it. After this, Ronnie would put Unique's body in the trunk, they dump it down the hill. Another savage moment on Ronnie's is when he walked up on the dude, put a gun to his head, and proceeds to take the keys and steal his car so he could flip it and make a profit off of it, since Unique was taking a long time to give him some work. His next victim would be Pernissa. The next day after thinking he took out Unique, he would go to his house. He would take his jewelry and belongings. Pernissa would see this and attempts to stop Ronnie and tells him Unique will come back to get his stuff, but Ronnie is not trying to hear it. Ronnie would grab Pernissa, stares at her, then push her to the ground. Afterwards, he would grab the bag, and before he walks out the room, he would stare down Pernissa and give her a look to make sure he instills fear in her. His next victim will be Paul. After overhearing Kanan and Paul having an argument about Kanan taking his workers, he would threaten Kanan to go to the police and reveal to them about what he's been doing in the street. Ronnie would notice this, and later on, as him and Kanan becomes partners, Ronnie will pay Paul a visit and wants to check him about running his mouth. Ronnie will bring his crew and bust through Paul's door, and as Paul is begging for mercy, Ronnie will beat him down, then takes him to Kanan's apartment to ask him about the threat he made made about going to the police, which Ronnie does not like. Paul would piss on himself as Ronnie continues to intimidate him. The intimidation works and Paul will keep his mouth shut. His next victim will be Famous. As Famous walks in during the Paul intimidation, Famous will make his way in and try to pack his bags so he can go back home and live with his mother. Kanan tells Famous to get his stuff and be gone by the time he comes back. Famous will quickly pack his stuff, and as he is trying to speed out the apartment, Kanan and Ronnie walks back in. Ronnie will start to ask Famous a lot of questions about why he wants to go back home and why does his mother miss him. Famous will appear to be lost about the questions he was being asked. Ronnie will start to intimidate Famous about running his mouth, which Kanan told him about. Famous would deny it and say he doesn't like to run his mouth, but Ronnie is not buying it and continues to intimidate him. As Famous is shook, he will ask Kanan for help to tell Ronnie that he doesn't like to run his mouth. Kanan will step in and tell Ronnie Famous know how to keep things close for the most part, but if he don't, Kanan is gonna mess him up his damn self. Famous will leave out the apartment shook. Episodes later, when Famous is trying to find Lou, Famous will go see Kanan to see if he know where Lou is at, but Ronnie will open the door instead and tell Famous to go away. But when Famous does not leave, Ronnie will grab Famous and choke him up against the wall. Once Famous and Kanan talk, Ronnie would throw him to the ground to make him go away. His next victim will be the social worker lady. After Rod tells the social worker that Kanan doesn't live at home no more, the social worker will find Kanan and tells him if he doesn't go home in the next 24 hours, he will be going to jail. With Kanan pissed off, he would go to Ronnie about this news. The next day, him and Kanan will catch her outside her work building. Ronnie will walk up to her and throw the shit out of her, leaving her shook. His next victim will be Rock. After Rock took out his plug Juliana, Ronnie will be pissed off and comes up with a plan to take out Rock for good. When Rock stops at a red light in broad daylight, Ronnie's crew will pop up and begin shooting at Rock, almost taking out Rock. When Kanan finds out from Famous that Rock almost got taken out, Kanan will confront Ronnie and tells him that they never talk about taking out his mother, but Ronnie tells him Rock came at them first, he had to attack back. Kanan told him not to mess with his family, and Ronnie stands up and tells him, "You don't tell me shit, little boy," straight violating Kanan. This will later on prompt Kanan to take out Ronnie for good, ending his run. Ronnie was one of the most entertaining characters in Power Universe history. He showed how to put fear in people and leave people shook. With him being relentless, crazy, and awkward, he kept the audience entertained for a whole season. Shout out to the actor and the Raising Kanan writers for making this come to life.
Someone was clocking us. You're giving him ill vibes.
Ronnie was just sitting there on the couch in the dark staring at the TV. The TV wasn't on. Neek.
You get my shit?
Where's Neek?
Maybe he got himself a side piece. Maybe that's where he at.
You, Ronnie. Didn't your brother give you some work?
He probably Rock.
What?
Neek's plans being made by his dick. In the competition.
Who's your brother fine-ass smashing?
Rock. Rock.
G50, G50. Who's got it?
Time to go to work.
Damn, son, you got them prison muscles. They look good on you. I always did like them strong, silent type. Ain't your brother missing us some shit and you threw in a damn party?
Neek taking time off. He'll be back.
That's not what I heard. I wanna go. Let's go.